Chương trình này được bảo trợ bởi
Family Joy, tổ ấm y tế của mọi gia đình, 714 898 0765.
Welcome back to the OC Health and Education Show. I'm your host, Julie DIEP. Today we have a very special guest. That's Reverend William Moses Somerville to our show. He's here to help inspire and educate us, and also to share about his journey as he serviced people as a chaplain during the COVID pandemic. Reverend, thank you again for continuing this conversation. I know the first segment went by so quickly.
It did.
And I want to make sure that we have an opportunity to learn about who you are, not just, your resume,
right,
but who you are as a person.
And I further want to thank you for allowing me to be a part of the community as well.
Thank you.
I don't take being accepted into community lightly because there's real work in acceptance all the same. So I mentioned earlier about the requirements that allow me to serve as a pastor, spiritual care provider, chaplain,
yes,
reverend. I'm now going to talk about the qualifications. And the qualifications go back to being the youngest of 3 children, born into the union of parents who are both now deceased of 48 years married.
Wow.
Born and raised in Champaign-Urbana, Illinois, which is 2 hours south of Chicago. Graduated from high school, now off to college in Arkansas. From Arkansas back to Illinois.
Wow.
From Illinois, got married and then moved to Wisconsin. From Wisconsin, then moved to Montana.
Definitely
right,
a journey.
From Montana, now California. While living here in California, we had Long Beach, homeless, Long Beach, Corona, La Habra, Vista, Aliso Viejo, now back in Long Beach. I share all of that because of the life changes that I have gone through and all those experiences that come with it.
Yes.
Very colorful experiences, I might add. That's what allows me to connect with people in my congregation, in the clinical settings, and in the public advocacy, public service work that I do.
I know you said one of the location was homeless, and you kind of just gloss over it.
Yes.
And I really love how you kind of fitted in the whole journey.
100%.
Because, one of the things that a lot of people forget is that, when we go through this journey, it gives us more compassion and more empathy. And the way you frame it was that you're more relatable.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit about what that means and what that homeless means? What does that word mean?
Literal and figuratively.
Yeah. Yes.
However, and most specifically in that homeless space that you've identified, I got some of the best sleep I thought I could never experience.
Wow.
Because there is, and to sound preacherly like in our cultural expression, I hit rock bottom, but when you hit rock bottom, you have nowhere to go but up. And it forced me to do very real self-introspection, self-reflection, and fight for what it means for me to love myself. And that's the crusade that I'm on, and how I support other individuals on their journeys, especially spiritual. And that is, what does it mean for you to love yourself? When I do my counseling or premarital counseling, I ask both individuals, the couple that's before me, and I ask, what does it mean for you all to love yourselves? Because you cannot give something that you don't know how to receive.
Yeah, I know we had that conversation.
Yes.
I know I'm definitely going to try to talk a little bit more about that.
Yes, yes.
Cảm ơn quý vị. Hôm nay Julie có thời gian nói chuyện với Reverend William Moses Somerville. Hôm nay Reverend nói một phần là rất là quan trọng là cái phần qualification. Không phải là mình có cái bằng để cho làm cái người Reverend hay cái người chaplain, mà phải có cái kinh nghiệm. Hôm nay Reverend nói đó là cái journey của Reverend đó là đi từ mẫu bang tới bang đủ thứ nước, đủ thứ bang khác với mỗi cái thành phố, And một cái phần á, là Reverend cũng có là bị homeless, là đó là rất là quan trọng. Đó là Reverend nói là trong cái kinh nghiệm của mình, cái khó khăn của mình lúc mà mình mất hết, thì cái gì mà mình thấy là cái gì là cũng rất là cũng quý, để cho mình được tăng lên, mình có nhiều cái hy vọng hơn. Julie thấy đó, hôm nay á, là Reverend nói thêm á, là một cái là mình phải you said that you have to learn how to receive before you can truly give. And cái đó là chừng nào mình biết làm sao là mình chấp nhận cái quà, mình mới được giúp mỗi người, hay mình mới cho cái quà cho cái người khác. You know, it was so hard for me to try to explain that message because, you know, I am myself am personally going through that journey. I think as I shared with you during our commercial break was that, oh, I'm just learning to receive. And you were reminding me that same message.
Yes,
that
yes.
That means I have not truly learned how to give. And I never saw it as that.
Right.
So can you help me understand that message that you're trying to share with us?
Yeah. There was a time when I was fortunate enough to serve our country as an Air Force Reserve chaplain.
I thank you for your service.
And in that time, and I was in my 20s at that time, I was invited to preach at rural churches in the South. And when I would go and present and provide sermons and whatnot, I would not take an honorarium, because I felt as if, because I serve as a reserve chaplain, I'm being paid through your tax dollars, our tax dollars, then the church would not need to pay me or provide me with an honorarium. And it would be my offering to give back to the church. And so after this tour happened, or this speaking circuit, an elderly lady, an elder, as we affectionately call the elderly women in our church, mothers, one of the mothers of the church, she said, you need to take this honorarium because you'll never know how to give until you learn how to receive. And so out of that, we've sometimes confused ourselves into thinking that because we are doing missions or we're giving to those less fortunate, maybe we need to first reassess the momentum and the motivation upon why we give to begin with. And does it come out of a genuine space, just as much as why is it so hard for us to receive all the same? So that's what, I mean, going more in depth, and I think into what you're suggesting. Does that make sense?
It does make sense, but it's so hard for us to truly grasp that concept. And, you know, because I think we always want to give and do more for others, and we oftentimes forget about ourselves.
That's right.
And I think, you know, what I really love about what you're saying is that your journey, your experience with the mother of the congregation, and that lesson that mother was able to provide. Didn't just help you, but it helped all of us, and it also helped me today to really process, you know, my life experience. So thank you so much for that.
No problem.
I appreciate
no
that.
problem. No problem at all.
Thank you again for talking about that. You know, hôm nay Reverend William có nói đó, thêm nhắc nhở đó là you have to learn how to receive before you can truly learn how to give. Thì khó nhất á, là người Việt Nam của mình, cái người mẹ, cái người cha, mình luôn luôn mình muốn giúp mỗi người trong xung quanh, trong cộng đồng của mình, trong gia đình của mình muốn cho, mình không có lo về cái need của mình, mình phải luôn luôn phải chấp nhận cái quà mà mỗi người cho mình mới có thể hiểu được cái lúc mà mình giúp người khác á, mình thấy cái hy vọng với cái hạnh phúc của mình. I think, you know, the way I try to explain it was, you know, I think once we learned how to receive, I think the happiness is just magnified. So I want to continue this conversation after the commercial break.
Because there's more I want to share with you too.
I know there's so much more you have to share. So thank you, but we're definitely going to continue this conversation. Julie cảm ơn quý vị khán giả của Little Saigon TV. Trong phòng quảng cáo, chúng tôi sẽ tiếp tục nói chuyện với Reverend William Moses Somerville.